Okay, let's build a Sunday service. I start off with building my order of service here in Planning Center. So what we need to first start off with is order of service from Planning Center. Let's go to the second. Refresh it and just make 100% sure it is up to date. Ken, who is Ken? Is this Pastor Ken? Pastor Ken is the host. Okay. Start off with screenshot the entire page for archival and documentation. Save as a PDF. This gets saved to the date of, oh, actually I can't save this just yet, but I'll put it on the desktop for now. Okay. And then I'll build this Sunday session here in just a sec. All right. Now that we have this ready though, let's see what the, actually, let's just do it this way. See what the order of service is. So we start with the countdown song is Jehovah, which doesn't really change in the series that we're currently in. We'll keep the countdown song for a couple of months and then we change that. Right now we're in Jehovah. And the way I do this is, well, I'll show you when we're doing the order of service or the session, the Ableton session, but the way it works is exactly 5 minutes or about 5 minutes, however long the song is, but let's just say starting 5 minutes before 9 and before 11, so 5 minutes before the service, when our countdown would actually start, let's just call it quote-unquote countdown. The announcement loops and all this plays in the main auditorium. 5 minutes 5 minutes prior, the Jehovah will start, and the first half, maybe the first 2.5 minutes or so, will play the actual original song, because it's a transition coming from out of the background music that's playing, the pre-post music playlist that's playing in the house. It fades into Jehovah essentially, which then takes over halfway through, or let's say 2/3 of the way through. The band will then jump in and take over, and then the reference, the actual track, gets faded out. Then it's like a handshake over to the band, and then we go from there into the welcome and then the actual worship set. So that countdown thing doesn't really change much, and it kind of stays the same, like I had said, for a couple of months. The actual worship set is where it starts. So that being said, with the whole Jehovah thing, I don't really change that. That stays here. So we're going to start with Goodbye Yesterday, which is there. I placed that yesterday because I was building the song yesterday from scratch. And you probably should have already seen the video for that. Next song is Christ Be Magnified. So I'll search for that. I'll drag that in its order and make sure that it's pulling the original composition right there. And if not, we'll change that. Should always be pulling the correct one. Jesus You Alone, I think it was. Original composition, we'll pull that in, so that's song 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going into generous living at that point, and then to communion. So in generous living, we could probably keep communion there, so we'll throw in the communion module. Not the song, the actual communion piece. Generous living, communion, and then holy forever for the song during communion. Original composition. Then into the bumper, the sermon. And then God Is Not Against Me is the last song, the response song. Oop, did not mean to do that. God is not against me, and that goes to response here, and then we're going to remove When Wind Meets Fire because that was from last week. Okay, so let's start our lighting scheme. I'm going to pull the house down, or at least just a little bit. Yeah, you can see fine without the house lights on. We've got our home base look. should not be on. Why are those on? It's in Peace Be Still is still playing, that's why. There we go. So there's our home base. And then, as long as everything's talking to lighting, we'll be good. That's on lighting. Let's make sure Ableton is talking to lighting. I believe it is from the last time we were on this. Yep, I try to keep these always in and only disconnect when I don't want them to talk for a minute. So if we start the pre-service, it should start music. And for this purpose, for the top of service, we have our background music that plays online, and then I have this other music that plays probably can't hear it. Okay, so I have it. This music is not the pre-post music. Well, it's pre-post music for online only because we can't be playing the original recordings really so much. I've already gotten, or we have gotten quite a bit of claims, copyright claims on that, so we have to be careful moving forward. So I have this instrumental music essentially playing online, and then in the house we have like actual worship songs, actual church songs that you want to be hearing. If that makes any sense at all. And I'll make a little short or a video on how I do that in case any of you want to try to mirror that at your own house. Okay, so pre-service is started. Our lighting look is up and running. When the countdown happens, some lights change. The halfway through, when the band is supposed to come in, the key lights will come in. Nothing else in the house really changes. The screens are still showing the announcement loops. And it still says welcome to Northgate in the back because it's a countdown, so we're not necessarily performing or doing anything. We're just kind of playing a song to get people from the lobby into the house. And then the welcome starts. So this is the Jehovah's song countdown that we go through. I'm not going to go through that right now because we're just building the order of service. Just kind of explaining how it works as we go. So this is that song, and then from there we go into the welcome, which the beginning of the Jehovah song stops the music. Because the song had actually kicked in now at that point, Jehovah song. So then we'll come out of that into the welcome, which changes all of our outputs and looks. And let's go to this actually so we can see what's going on here. And I would have rather this probably be... Yeah, I'll just leave it for now. I'm not going to go too crazy. This is Pastor Ken, so let's update that. We're going to find Pastor Ken's lower third. Copy this. We'll bring this up to the welcome, and we will replace Megan's with his. We'll delete that. And let's make sure it's calling the correct one. So when we reset, it should bring up his lower third here. Yep, I see Pastor Ken right there. And if we look at the alpha key or output, there it is. Okay, now as the operator goes, or the production director myself, as I go through the reign of all these slides, I have these trigger slides here that talk to Ableton, so I don't have to jump to Ableton in heat of the moment on a Sunday morning to, or at least I don't have to have hands on multiple computers. My intention is to try to have everything in this one computer right here that I'm working on. And so I have some of these slides that trigger Ableton for me and trigger the next song for me, which then will trigger Goodbye Yesterday. And then Generous Living is next. Let's just go through the order service here. So Goodbye Yesterday, Christ Be Magnified. And I need to go through the keys as well, update the keys as well. So Generous Living is where we're currently at. And then Communion with Pastor Jim. Holy Forever, which is going to be Laura. Yep, Laura. And then this is pulling that. Oh, also, the beginning of Goodbye Yesterday needs to have the worship bars. So the worship bars needs to be at the top of each segment, which would also be in Holy Forever, and will be in God's Not Against Me. Okay, so that's in. Again, communion's Pastor Jim. And we'll make sure that this selects the correct song, which is supposed to be this one, song 4. Let's make sure that all of our outputs, our themes are properly set. And we'll do that to all these. Holy Forever, and then God's On Against Me. Yeah, they're all done. Cool beans. Alright, so ProPresenter for the moment is completely ready to go. Our pre-service isn't running because I did that. Okay, so now we'll go into Ableton over here. Move the mic so we can work together here. Let's get this out of the way. Okay. Alright, so now we have to build the day of session, and I usually start off from the last session from last week. So let's open that up. And we'll start by deleting all of our songs. God's Not Against Me is going to stay because we've been playing that every week. And then we'll delete the markers from last week. Actually, we should just delete all of these because I don't think that's in the right place. Okay. Oh, I just saved that. Bad habit. Probably actually doesn't matter because it's backed up already. Let's be sure on that. Desktop. Okay, yeah. So it's updated. It doesn't really matter if it's, because I'm just going to delete this. Okay, save. Now, what we're going to do is save as to, what date are we doing? Oh, 2/2/25. And we're going to save that to the root of this folder here. And then we'll do a collect all and save. Let's hope it doesn't crash. God Is Not Against Me is song 5 this time, so we'll just rename everything. And that is in, it's going to be easier to have this open. Christ Be Magnified is going to need to be updated. I just realized that. Okay, God's Not Against Me is supposed to be in D, and that's what we currently have, so that's good. And then here we want this to be D and 6/8, I think. Yep, 6/8, 4, and then just because we already have this in to work with, we are going to move it now. Usually do it in contiguous order, but so I'm cutting it. I'll hit number 5 and then paste, and then we'll the loop probably doesn't matter because it's the last song. Actually, would be a great idea to keep it for now. That's in D, so we can save that, and then now we'll go to 1 and we'll change all the flags. So 1 is Goodbye Yesterday in A flat. 1 yesterday, A flat. 2 U. No, an E flat, not A flat, my bad. 4 is also we just went over the sack, Holy Forever in E. And then 5 is done. Okay, now we can actually start placing. So Goodbye Yesterday was a new song that we just built. And we're going to go to my tracks folder, Zacco builds, and Goodbye Yesterday. And then I'm going to drag the ALS in. Be sure you see everything I'm doing her. That, and we're going to cut that. I'm going to put that in place 1. And then we're going to have to move all of this stuff. I think we can get away with moving this. Let's do quarter grid for now. Cut, 1 paste. Give us a little bit more room. Okay, cards being magnified. Now from here what I do is find where I can put the next song to start. So that seems like where Christ Be Magnified needs to start. I mean, that makes more sense to me to be there, but I feel like it's going to be a very fast transition. And rinse, wash, and repeat. You're going to be doing the same thing for all these. And then we'll do the key later. So just so you know, or are fully aware of how we do this. That's fine. I always make my packages in the original key. And then I change the key when it's moved in here for the day of. Okay, so now we're going to move Christ Be Magnified. This is going to be song 2. And then we'll come in here and see how well that blends. Breakdown. Oh, actually, another thing I should do is you need to go back. We'll go, cut you. And then I don't know if that really needs to be there, but well, it's fine.
Ending. 1.
Oh. Well, this is annoying. It's turning it because it's actually calling slides and stuff. It's doing what it's supposed to, but let's just disconnect it. So that's where I come in and start. I turn the music off. I'm just gonna disconnect everything that matters. At least Super Rec is fine.
Ending. 1, 2. Intro. 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so these tracks need to... I don't know, let's see.
2.
Let's see where the next... It might be better to just trigger it here. We can see what that sounds like now.
Ending. 1, 2. Intro. 2, 3, 4.
That felt better to me. And then now that we're doing that, let's move this back, and then I'll move these back out. So that's the tempo that's setting it. This is the actual click itself. This is the tempo going to Super Rec. The guide channel I don't always use. For the most part, I always use this, the given one. For like special stuff, I'll use this one. And what that does is just gives me the chance to add custom commands or guides. So that, one more time.
1. Breakdown. Ending. 1, 2. Intro. 2, 3, 4.
Okay, I'll keep that for now. Jesus, You Alone, I think is in 6/8, isn't it? We'll find out when I bring it in. Yeah, it's in 6/8. I don't want to do that though. Let's we gotta find out where this is gonna go first. That's pretty easy. We'll come here, that's fine. And we'll cut that. Lyric video spilling over is absolutely acceptable. That way it blends well. Now we shall see. Okay, so we should see how this is going to work.
2. Intro 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so those three spill into each other. And then we have a stop after that, and then we need to move Holy Forever back here. Actually, not a stop. We don't want to stop. I believe we want a loop. So let's get rid of that stop. And then we actually want a loop. 2, 3. Yeah, that's fine. We'll move loop 2. And then the trigger. Okay, so we need to find where this is going to loop actually first. Which feels like way over here. There we go. Okay, I usually give, I mean, it's short window, but you don't want it too small because you want to have enough time to trigger or select the next song, and it actually jumps, because if it's doing this right there, that green thing, if it's doing that in the middle of while you select the next song, it will continue to loop until you have to trigger it again, which gets annoying. Okay, and then Holy Forever. Christ be magnified. Jesus, you alone. This goes up after that. And then the ALS we need to bring in. Just gonna go to 4, paste that. And then here we can actually put a stop if there needs to be one. That way it'll just continue until it's told to stop. So we're gonna go back here to my custom commands, and we're going to add a stop play here. I usually leave a little space so that, because if it stops here you can't see the cursor like you can there. See, the cursor stays, the playhead. If the playhead was there, you can't see it anymore. And you're zoomed out, and all of a sudden you're like, where'd it go? Watch. Jeez, is that long enough? See, now it's gone. I can't see it at all outside of where I originally placed it, and I don't know now where the cursor is. And in the heat of a moment, when you're doing this, you don't have time to try to figure out if it's playing or if it's what. So I usually just try to extend this out just so you can see the playhead when it stops. Like, I'm zoomed out. Actually, that's a little too much, but you get the gist. There we go. And I see the playhead there. Okay. Savey. And then now, God's Not Against Me is already there. Okay, so now the next thing to do is place our commands. So what these are is the pink essentially is all for SuperRec. So this tells SuperRec to jump to the specific song. This one tells it to toggles on the effect, essentially the delay and reverb effects that I have. Oh, actually, before I get too involved with this, I did forget to add my markers. So we're going to go here, and then we're going to go here, and I copy that, go up to the top, number 1, paste. And then we do that all the way down the board. So Christ be magnified, start with the end marker. And I'm holding down Shift as I select these, so it highlights them all. That's interesting. Why did I do that? I've never seen that before. To paste. What are you? I feel like I'm not copying this or something. Oh, this is weird. Very weird. Copy. To paste. There it is. That is so weird. Maybe it was doing the same thing the whole time. I don't know. I've never seen that before though. Oh, what do you know? This is wrong. This shows how old this package is. Copy. 3, paste. 4. Oh, you know what we're doing here? You see what we're doing here? Okay. Holy forever. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix this on some of them. 4, paste. So let's just get rid of that, and then I'll have to remember to fix that on the package. Okay, alright, now, oh wait, 5. Copy, 5, paste. Save. Okay, back to 1. Now, what this does is shows me exactly where if I want the effect to come in. So let's see.
Verse 1.
$150. Why is that? Is there something else in here that's keeping it at 100? Yeah, that right there. There we go. Much gooder.
One,
There it
two,
is.
and 1, 2, intro 2, 3, 4.
We don't want that reference in there, but
Verse 1.
so I know exactly where I want it to start now. That works for me. Let's turn the reference off. We don't want that in. Save that. I hope the YouTube does not flag me now over all this. Reference is off. That's correct. 2.
1, 2.
Oh, what am I doing? Now we're doing these. 2. Paste.
Verse 1.
Okay, that's turning on when it needs to. This is song 3. 3, paste.
Verse 1.
Okay. And you'll notice that I'm not necessarily turning the effects off. That's because as soon as the next song gets triggered, the effects will be off. Will be off. And then here I need to add a trigger to turn off. Or I can do it manually, I guess. But we'll figure that out in rehearsal if it's really needed. Let's paste that there. Actually, let's paste it there. That way it turns off just as they start to pray. Oh, and you know what we're missing here? I need to add that to the actual package as well for a few of these songs. Yeah, about that. So Goodbye Yesterday is 4/4. Let's copy this. And then tempo is there for Christ be magnified. Just not Jesus, you alone. Let's paste. Exit. Or cut, 3, paste. And then this needs to be somewhere around there. And I have noticed that whether it's 6/8 or 4/4, this tempo thing works. Well, we'll be 100% sure that that's true here in just a sec. Oh, there's no video for Jesus You Alone. I need to add that? Man, I've got a lot more ahead of me. Where'd paste go? Copy. Oh no, there's a lyric video right there. What am I talking about? So that is fine. Oh, I see what I did there. Cut 4, paste. God, it's not against me, he has it. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that Super Rack is listening to that tempo properly. Which we could pay attention to this right here, 72. And we should actually be talking. So
1, 2.
Jump to 150.
2, 3, 4.
Go to song number 2.
1, 2.
What's at 72? And that is at 72. We'll go to 3.
1, 2.
80 and
Intro
80.
2.
Because you can see I've got 80 BPM here, and then 80 BPM here. 4.
1, 2.
72 and 72, absolutely. 5,
1, 2.
70. Yep, everything's listening to what it needs to. You can close out of that for now. We'll go back into that in a minute. And then we'll finish what we're doing here. 4. 4 is... And then...
Verse 1.
Start there. Copy that, and then let's actually just cut that one and place here.
Ending.
Paste it there, because the way I have Super Rec set is it actually can turn off and the effects will tail out. We're not actually turning the effect off, we're turning the feed to it off. God's Not Against Me is right. We just need to find where we want effects in.
Verse 1. Verse 1.
Maybe there. And then the end. I might have to move that on rehearsal, during rehearsal. Okay, that's on beat. I mean, I'd prefer this to jump on the downbeat, but like that. Okay, so that's all correct. Oh, last thing we need to do now is make sure that we're calling the correct. So as I said, the pink is Super Rec, and then we've got this like purple kind of thing down here. That is the playlist that it's telling ProPresenter to jump to. So let's turn Super Rec back on. We'll make sure that this is fully connected now. ProPresenter to ProPresenter, lighting control to Vista lighting. Actually, let's turn the Vista off for now. 1. Okay, so this is supposed to jump to Goodbye Yesterday, and let's solo it. Okay, actually, that way we can hear it.
1.
It did jump to Goodbye Yesterday. Go to 2.
1.
Christ Be Magnified. 3.
1.
Jesus You Alone.
1. 1.
4. Plays is not going to be right.
1.
So that's 10, 11, 12, 13 is what we need. Select playlist, 13. Go back to 4.
1.
Yep, Holy Forever. 5
1.
is 19.
1.
There it is. And then for my sanity's sake. Okay, so I feel like we're fully ready here. Okay, so the session is kind of built. We can close this, I believe. Now what we need to do is make sure I don't have a reference for that. Let's jump over and make sure our lyric videos are correct. Christ Be Magnified, Jesus You Alone, Holy Forever, 5, God's Not Against Me. Yep. Okay, so then what else do we need to do? Lighting. Let's make sure that this is actually calling what it's supposed to be calling for lighting. Now we turn Vista on. And then we'll go to Vista here. this one, and we'll on playback, and we're currently on Christ Be Magnified. Let's see if this works.
1, 2, intro 2,
All right,
3,
I see Goodbye
4.
Yesterday there. Looks like it's calling the wrong
Verse 1.
wall look. You could probably see a little bit of that green there on the wall behind me. There. That's supposed to be blue. Maybe I'll do pink instead. It's actually supposed to be blue and pink. What am I talking about? It looks like both of the gobos, because there's two on each wall. The bright that you see there, and then there's one that's really dim. Doubt you can't see that. I doubt you can see that. But I do know that it's calling the right song, so that's fine. We'll worry about the design, the colorama later. Christ Be Magnified.
2.
It's calling Christ Be Magnified.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
But the lighting's not correct on Christ Be Magnified, so I'm going to have to go through that now. 3, Jesus You Alone.
2. Intro.
That is calling, and that actually is releasing everything like it's supposed to. 4. Holy Forever.
2.
Calling Holy Forever, and it's releasing everything like it's supposed to. And I know that God Is Not Against Me is going to work properly because that's new.
1.
And it looks like I have time code in that song, so I'm going to remove that from that song. 241. I'm going to move this mic over here since I think I'll probably be over here more often now. Okay. So what we want to do is find song 241, ID number 241, God's Not Against Me. Let's edit that, and then what else did I say? I think it was Christ Be Magnified. Christ Be Magnified didn't call either, or didn't release everything like it's supposed to.
1.
So that is 59. And in case you're wondering, you don't see, what I'm doing is this tells me the label of the song that's being called, and then this is the ID of the song. So that's how I find out where to find it, what number to look for ID-wise here in the playlist. So we'll go in Christ Be Magnified. Let's do that real quick. Let's just link to that. We'll select this, and then we'll go up to the time, oh, yep, see there's no command to release all except this. Insert, yes, close, and then we'll move that to as far back as we can. And then we're going to want to redo this like we did on the last video. So let's go to remove from. So all of this stuff we want to remove. Because they should already be off at that point. There shouldn't be any commands here to turn stuff off. Not in the count. That all happens in the reset queue. Go back here again, remove all. I still see it being talked to. That's fine, value is fine. Off commands though, really. More off commands. Only values is what I want to see in this moving forward. So I never want to see stuff being, well, actually at this point off is fine. So we'll go back to the reset now. Looks like we're not, well, let's make sure we're not positioning anything like the band kicks. Color is fine. We don't want position though. Okay, now we go in here and we do the song reset. We find our song reset preset saved. That now updated. You can see on stage that updated my lighting. Then we'll go back here. Actually, let's select all movers, and then we go up here, go to intensity. and then we pull these back because we want this to happen first and then they get released. Spotlights are fine. And then in here, the only thing I saw was interesting. I don't know why that was so fast. Time code. It's interesting that time code is being... oh, I think it's because it hears time code. That's what it was. Let's try that again.
1, 2, 1,
It's been
2,
armed.
3.
Oh, is it? I think I know why. Let's go to the actual song, 241. We'll go to the properties. And it looks like... where is... I don't see timecode ARM. Timecode enabled. There it is. Okay, so that should never happen again.
1,
Yeah,
2.
that's all it was. So anytime you first play it and you notice that there's a change here, it's usually because timecode was enabled or armed at the very top. In the properties. There's a... okay, so save that. Anyways, we can close that. I don't need that anymore. Christ be magnified should work now properly. And then Jesus, you alone.
1, 2. 1, 2. Intro. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, 2.
1, 2. Intro. 2.
3.
1, 2. Intro. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
4.
1, 2. Intro.
Okay. I have a feeling that is 133. That might be an old one too. So let's go through here and make sure. And make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. Yeah. Yeah. So instead of selecting my song reset, I'm just selecting the keys, the stuff that I need to be affected only. Because there was mover commands in there already. Done. And then so I feel like okay, now I just need to fix a couple of the commands, or the song, like Goodbye Yesterday, those gobos, and then do a run through. And we should be good. So let's call Goodbye Yesterday
1,
again.
2. Intro.
243. Okay. It's interesting. I hear I hear the movers moving around like crazy. These mics are really sensitive. Okay, so we need you guys to be blue. And we'll use that blue. And we do it at 40. And then we want the inner movers to be pink. Then they're not told to do anything there. Oop. And then the interlude is where they change green. I guess that still works. Okay, I'm gonna do a run through on this. Let's see, I'm gonna have to mute the audio somehow. I'll do a run through. And then tomorrow I need to set levels. It's another thing I do, but I can't do that right now because there's a meeting going on in the room next door. But essentially what I have to do is set the room to the level. Oh, I can't forget about this. The key. Ha ha ha. Okay, so now that this is done, let's work with the keys. I hope that the lighting is done at least. I just fixed the one go, but I'm going to have to do a full run through on it. But in the meanwhile, we want Goodbye Yesterday to be in A flat. That sounds correct. Christ be magnified to be in A flat. That's in A flat. Jesus, you alone. I think is E flat. That's right. That's what I've got. Oh, man. 4. Sorry for all the coughing, guys. Yeah. That needs to be an E, not F, which is 2 steps. Could be wrong. Holy forever. I cheat because I don't know key very well. I know the sound, the tone, the key of it. I'm not really good with music theory. I'm an engineer, computer programmer. What do you expect? So, ooh, you know what? It looks like this is not the original either. Oh, Zach. I'm looking at the wrong. Holy forever. Original is an F, yep. So to go from F to E, where's the original? Original from F to E is 1. Oh, -1. So then we got to make sure that these are warped. They are. And only that, warped properly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So then we'll go up and select everything we need, and then we will go -1. Because that gives us our E. Actually, before we do that, let's be 1000% sure. 4. Oop, what am I doing?
1, 2. Intro. 2, 3, 4.
Okay, it says it's an F. And then make 1. Save that. Now let's see.
1, 2. Intro, 2, 3, 4. Intro.
Let's see if I can fix that thing. It's supposed to not. There's a light that keeps
Verse
swiping.
1.
Okay, it's in E. That is correct. Let's replace this to be E. That way we know. And then 5. God is not against me in D. Yep. God is not against me is in D. Okay, so that's done. Be 1000% sure everything's ready to go. Collect and save. Why do I say 1000%? Get out of that habit. Okay, so one of these light commands is triggering triggering the razor to swipe, like turn on as it's swiping down into position, and it shouldn't ever do that. Ooh, pre-chorus, that's it. Okay, so here we want to make, actually let's grab you, find the position, copy, move here, and paste. That way, when it's played now, it moves into position, and then when it's needed and called, it just turns on. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about there, but it's, see if I can point at it. We've got this middle. I can't point at it. So if you see the 4 movers on the under the LED wall under the stage, there's actually 5 movers. The one dead center, it's a small little razor. Let's see if I can turn it on for you real quick. Did it not turn it on? That guy. Okay. That one originally at the pre-chorus, as soon as it got called, it would turn on and then swipe down, so it would like kind of hit you in the face right away with light, catch your attention unnecessarily. I didn't like that. So I went to the verse before it turns on, and I took the position that I had saved in the pre-chorus, went to the verse, and then pasted it there so that it moved during the verse and then just turned on when it was needed. That way it's not blinding anybody. It's pointing straight down at the stage. Okay, so I think now I'm ready for a run through. I gotta make sure that everything triggers and like plays the way it's supposed to. So let's see if I can go to my media computer without, man, there we go, that's fine. Okay, so we'll start over from the very beginning. I think what I'm gonna do is turn off the broadcast audio, maybe. That way you're only hearing the click. I'm gonna see if I can do that real quick. Oh, I just do this. All right, at least that way you can hear. I'll turn my mic off or something, but that way you'll just see what's going on, how I'm doing it all. And all you're gonna hear is clicking guide. For YouTube's sake, or for my sake on YouTube, I'm gonna have to refrain from playing the audio of the full song. Real quick, I am turning on the hazer in my house here so that you can, well, first of all for myself, but also for video so that we can see the beams and see what lighting's doing and all this. So again, I'm just going to turn my mic off and I'm just going to do this run through, and then we'll call it done. Also, another thing I wanted to say here, if you pay attention to like what I'm triggering and watch how things interact with each other, because I have commands from ProPresenter, like I had said before, telling Ableton what to do, and then at the same time Ableton is now controlling ProPresenter, then, or takes over ProPresenter and tells it what to do. I have a calendar set here on ProPresenter that at specific times it jumps to this module and clicks this slide, which tells Ableton to jump to the countdown. A second later it then plays it, and then Ableton will then kick off and then jump to here and then start playing the song. So that's how it goes, and I'm gonna do that now. And I just turned the side screens on so that you can see how that works in the house here throughout the service. Okay, now at this time is the loop portion within Ableton here. The band will just be playing the bridge, reprising the bridge essentially during that whole time. Then the welcome happens. Pastor Ken will come up and do his thing. They talk about new here, what to do, and then, all right, are you ready to go? Okay, let's get back to worship. And then all I gotta do is click this and it will jump to song 1 here. Click.
1, 2,
there it is.
2, 3, 4.
I do see this discrepancy here on these colors, so let me look into fixing that real quick. This being a brand new song, we just designed the lighting yesterday. There's going to be some little hiccups here in this song that I'm going to need to update. Color is a little off on those big eyes. Those are the two big ones that are pointing at a V right now. I actually wonder if those would benefit from being off. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Normally I wouldn't want that command. Actually, let's just take it off because I don't want to go against my own policy here. If it doesn't need to be commanded or do anything, it does not need to be commanded or do anything. Start from the beginning though. So I'm going to release lights and start over again. Oh, oops. That was the wrong button. There we go. My band kicks might be too hot too, actually, now that I think about this. Okay.
1, 2.
I just saw another problem here. I turned these on, but I never changed the color. Okay, let's try this. Try this again.
1, 2, intro 2.
Alright, so I just turned down the value of these big eyes. They were a bit hot. Okay, I actually feel I'm going to need to go through the whole thing again before I do a full run through. Okay, let's do it again. One more time from the top. Okay, I noticed that I have my hits in the wrong place, so I'm going to try to move them. This is going to be fun. We got to see where they go. Cut. Let's go back to drums in.
Chorus. Vamp. Bridge 1 hits. Bridge 1 hits. Bridge 1 hits. Bridge 1. Bridge 1 hits. Bridge 1 drums in. Bridge 1 hits. Bridge 1 hits. Bridge 1 drums in. One hits. One hits. Bridge 1 drums in. Bridge 1 hits. Bridge 1 drums in.
Okay, that works. I'm going to continue here. I noticed that one of the big eyes was moving much faster than the other one, so I just needed to update that speed. Let's look at it again. Sounds like somebody screwed in a light bulb. They are going nuts in the lobby. All right, we're getting somewhere. The lyric video is just a little slightly behind. I'm just advancing it to where it comes in more when it's needed. I'm sorry, the lyrics come in a little bit earlier. So we are in the vamp. Now it's a little too late, so I'm just going to go in and advance it. Oh. Let's meet in the middle there. Okay, we're on the turnaround breakdown.
Down. Verse 3. Drums in.
We also have to turn the piano off on all these because Aaron will actually be playing all of that live from the stage. So I need to remember to turn piano off on all these. I also need to update the effects as we're going through this. I keep forgetting that, but I'm gonna run through and do that too. I did notice one thing here in lighting. We're not calling both colors of the downfills. So this is song number 95. Okay, and then we'll continue from here. While this is running, I need to go fix one of these LED strips on stage. Okay, so then Jim at this point is going to come out. Let's turn this down. Jim's going to come out at this point to do Generous Living, or Ken actually is going to come out to do Generous Living. The band will be padding underneath them. And then Jim comes out to do communion. Communion graphics number 2. I actually want that over here as well. It's interesting. I'm not seeing it. I'm gonna stop that click for a minute. Oh, it's 8:23 slides communion. That's why. Number graphics 002. Huh? What's that one? So I'm just going to try this transition again. There we go. Let's remove the clear all. Remove the clear all. Yeah, there we go. Sorry. My nose is running a marathon. Alright, so then theoretically if this is playing, it should jump to 4 when we're ready. There we go. While we're here, I'm actually going to fix the color of these battens up top. It's kind of ugly. This is an old design. That's better. Looks like we're behind a cue. Hopefully that was just a mistake on my end because I stopped it. Alright, now at that part, Aaron will pray and say, check out this bumper. And then following that, the reader comes in, their lower third pops up, they do their reading, Larry comes in, he does his part, and then a sermon comes in at that point, takes over. Okay, and then directly following that, the producer then comes in. I'm sorry, I actually failed to mention this. We have a sermon slides operator who has an iPad and a manuscript, and just goes along with the sermon and triggering their slides as needed. And then me as the production director, I'll come through and like clear out the lower third and then the slide if I need to. And then they just continue to trigger, and then I actually clear these. And I have buttons here on the keyboard that does it for me, so I can do just the lower third, or the lower third and the thing at the same time. So we'll re-trigger these. There we go. And then here's the lower third and slide at the same time on another button. It does both at the same time. Okay, so I do that, and then I kick in at the end here during the prayer, and we'll trigger this for the prayer, this background that happens. Also during the sermon, we call the band out. I failed to mention that. So let's say we're on the last slide here, and then I clear it out. And then according to the speaker at the time, the pastor of the day, they say when they want the band to come out and start playing before their prayer or before they end their service. So I have make a point in the script that calls the band to the wings, from the green room to the wings. So at any given time, that could be on any slide. At the moment I have it on this one. And then the band actually sees this monitor backstage. Theoretically, they actually see this multi-viewer backstage, if I remember, or they see a multi-viewer, something similar, not the same one, but it shows this. And so they see this band of wings thing come up, and they get up and they come to the wings backstage, right behind the LED wall right there. And then at the appropriate time, according to the manuscript, we call them out, and that's when they physically walk out onto the stage and start playing, patch up and start playing when they're supposed to. All right, and then me as the producer will then come in, and then during the prayer, I'll click this slide just to kind of clear things out. And then when we're ready, when he walks off, he or she walks off, I will trigger this, which tells Ableton to jump to song 5, and then a half a second later it plays it. So we'll do that now. So you can see here, these are our lower third for worship. It's actually cinematic bars. There's a black bar top, black bar on the bottom, and the black bar on the bottom has text, as you can see. And you also notice that my operator output or monitor here changes according to the segment that we're in. And I get to change that however I need for myself to be able to see what I need to see. And then also I can just jump around and see all the other outputs as I need during service. But for the most part, I sit on operator here. And then I'm also piping this through NDI. So anybody with a computer or iPad that needs to can also take this with them and watch the operator outputs live. Sorry, what I was doing was fixing the timing. You probably could tell about that, but I was fixing the timing on that click because it retards at the end. So I wanted to follow the actual clicks retard the way it slows down. So now at this point, I am going to fix, no, not that one. Yeah, that one. Going to add that, what I just did to that song, the actual package of that song. God is not against me. Replace that click with it. And let's see if it did it. That was it. All right, let's save that. Let's actually collect and save just to be safe. Okay. All right, that's fixed. I should also fix a couple of these other songs, but for the most part, we are... Oop, what happened here? For the most part, we're ready to go. Run through's done, ready. Oh, I need to add the effects to the other songs here. So let's go to song 1. Song 1 is that new song, Goodbye Yesterday, excuse me. Okay, and then we want this to be on, and then we'll save that, and then we'll go to the next song. Song 2 is Christ Be Magnified. And I'm doing the mix to 100% because this is brand spanking new. This is going to be the first weekend I'm using this trick. What I did is quite convoluted, but just in SuperRec itself, it's listening to the same input that the vocal group is pulling from. The vocal group is doing just comp and EQ, and then the effects channel, just a straight up channel, is just the effects engine that's constantly on, and I have preset songs that I've made. And then what's turning it on and off is a gate, actually. So when it's on, when this plugin is on, the gate is on, and then when I turn it off, the gate opens and allows audio to pass through, which then allows us to hear the effects, essentially, which is then going into a standard channel on the console that goes to both the house and online. So that gives me the opportunity to mix how wet and dry the effects are in the house versus online, because once I get them up to a happy level in the house here, to be able to hear them how I want to hear them, they are drowning out the vocals online, because it's the way that it hears the same bus is different, because it's a different it's a different area, it's a different room that you're listening to on a virtual set, either on headphones or on a TV at home, versus this house that requires a lot more sound pressure to come through, run through the house for us to be able to hear certain nuances of the effects. So it is a little different. And so this is actually a little trick that I put together that allowed me to do this. So I'm going to try it this weekend, and hopefully it works. So anyways, because of that, this is now its own effects channel, essentially. And so the wet dry on this effects engine needs to be 100%. I want to hear nothing but the effects. I don't want to hear the dry signal coming through this whatsoever. Dry signal comes through the vocal channel. Okay, that being said, looks like we needed to still do Jesus You Alone. I didn't do that. And then we'll save this on, go to the next track, which is 3, Jesus You Alone, which that is in because I started adding it at that point, so we're good to go. 4, holy forever, 5, God is not against me. Yep. And then if we go to song 8, which is the countdown, that is Jehovah. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not 8. It is 10 is the countdown. Oh, 11. Wow. It's been so long since I've actually gone through that. 11 is the countdown, and I did add gyro to that at 100%. And it's supposed to be saved with the effects off because it gets triggered halfway through the song. Cool. I think we're good to go. So now at this point, at the end of that song, all I do then is just, as the production director, I'll go through the last remaining slides of the what we call the blessing, which is the just the final thank you and send off to the congregation, essentially. So the host will come back out. So in this case, Pastor Ken's going to come back out, and he's going to thank everybody for coming. Next steps, if you want to accept Jesus in your life and become a Christian and follow the Lord, your next steps are to go to this one area and grab a journal and meet new people, the whole bit. And then if you need prayer, you can text prayer 1 to 94,000. And then we do this thing, which is why we call it the blessing, which is we're giving the actual blessing or a blessing to the congregation to send them off to the real world, essentially, or out into the world, I should say, not the real world. And then this next slide just kind of is a transitional slide as I say, okay, go, see you later. The band is still padding underneath a little bit. And then I will click this slide, which 3 seconds later advances to this, 3 seconds later advances to this, 20 seconds later advances to this, and then 15 minutes later resets the entire service. So if I were to click on this, it's actually going to reset everything and turn the music back on, the whole bit. So let's turn this off. One of these commands, I think it's this one actually, stops my recording. So all of my recorders are also networked. Video recorders are also networked. I wish my audio recording was, because I am multi-track recording the entire service as well, for any chance to be able to do post-production if I get the chance to do that. For the most part, I'm just pushing up broadcast mix of what we have here, but that way I don't have to worry about automating the stop. So it has happened before with a stopped recording in the middle of a sermon because the service just went too dang long, and I lost the video, the last part of the service, because of that. And so that really screwed me over, and so I decided to add the trigger to stop from here. No matter how long the service goes, it will record until I tell it to stop. However, the record start is automatic. So that happens with the same trigger that starts the countdown 5 minutes before we start. And, thank you for your time sitting with me. If you're interested, subscribe, and I'll post as many videos as I can. I'm hopefully be able to do some live videos as well. And yeah, stay true to yourselves, guys. Thanks for watching Tech in the Temple. Peace out.
Cool. Any questions about that? About that one? Good.
I need to go back to that. I can start
Stand
with
up.
that. And if you've been redeemed.
It's okay. Cool. All right, here we go. Let's do it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.